Let's take a closer look at Masyn Winn and Adam Mazur's debut up next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5 on Wednesday, June 5th. I am Frank Stampfl, joined by Chris Towers, and I would say, two most obvious waiver wire names from Tuesday's action. Masyn Winn has been good for quite some time now. He went 3 for 3 with a sock and a shoe. His third home run, his 8th stolen base. Last 20 games, he is batting .370 with 3 homers, 14 RBI, 3 steals. He's up to 53% rostered, but he's still out there, Chris. What is your take on Masyn Winn? Would you take him over any of Nick Gonzalez, Davis Schneider, and Joey Ortiz?
That's a tough group because I think there are things to like about them all. I think if you need speed, specifically, Masyn Winn might be the top option there. And I do just want to say, I think he's under rostered at 53%. I get why his roster rate has been slow to climb because, one, I think shortstop's just so deep that nobody really needs a shortstop. 2, his counting stats aren't great. And 3, I think there's just a lot of skepticism around what Masyn Winn is doing. But I look at the profile and I see a lot of Tim Anderson here, where he just hits the ball to all fields. He's super athletic. He's got great strike zone control. And I could see it being a situation where he just consistently hits 290 or better because he's hitting so many line drives, because he's able to leg out a few infield hits. And that can be a super valuable profile if, as has happened recently, he's hitting towards the top of the lineup. He had mostly hit 8th or 9th this season, but he's been lead off, I think, the last 4 games and 6 of the last 8 or something. So if that continues, I think Masyn Winn can push his way into a must-start conversation.
Let's talk about Adam Mazur's debut. He turned in a quality start. He was at the Angels, 6 innings, 1 run, 4 strikeouts to 2 walks. It was a 4-pitch mix, 40% fastball usage, 36% slider, 16% changeup, 8% curve. Odd that he had 4 walks in this start. He hadn't allowed more than 2 walks in any of his 10 minor league starts this season. 8% rostered, widely available. Are you looking to add Adam Mazur anywhere, Chris? If so, I would imagine it's deeper leagues.
Yeah, I think there are things to like here. It was weird that his control wasn't great in this one. Chalk that up to first start jitters. That was not a concern for him in the minors. And the stuff looked fine. His sweeper or slider was, looked like his best pitch and could be something to build there. But given the state of pitching right now, not someone that you have to run out and add right now. I think I want to see a real successful start before I run out and add him. Also, Team Name Tuesday, any Mazur dude will tell you. Shouts to my Stealing Dan head fans out there.
All right, let's wrap up with some news and notes. Cristian Javier is scheduled to undergo Tommy John surgery on Thursday, and he likely won't be ready to return until the second half of 2025. It's a rough blow for Javier, who hasn't looked right for some time, and I know his velocity dipped before he went on the IL. Turns out it was for a pretty big reason with this injury, obviously. Aaron Boone said that Garrett Cole will require, quote, at least a few rehab starts before rejoining the Yankees rotation. Cole made his first start Tuesday at AA. He threw 3 1/3 shutout innings, 2 hits, 0 walks, 5 strikeouts, and my guess is he makes at least 2 more rehab starts. I'm thinking end of June, early July, something like that.
Yeah, because he missed all of spring training, basically, because he's been out for so long, I'm expecting it to be more like the full 30 days on the rehab assignment, but he might not need that much time, and he might push to come back earlier. So if it's sometime in June, that wouldn't surprise me, but I'd guess July.
And we got some big returns. Luis Robert was activated, batting 3rd in the White Sox lineup. He finished 2 for 4 with his 3rd home run. And Royce Lewis made his return to the Twins, batting 5th. He finished 1 for 1 with 2 walks and his 2nd home run. He has played 2 games, and he's got 2 home runs. So a big boost, Chris. I think both will be top 10 to 12 at each of their respective positions.
I mean, look, if you guaranteed me Luis Robert and Royce Lewis were going to play 90% of their games the rest of the way, I think Luis Robert probably doesn't move any higher than 10th or 9th at outfield just because there's such a clear top tier there. But I think you're probably talking about a top 30 player. And Royce Lewis has that upside as well. And you know, if you told me he was going to play the next 90% of the rest of the games, Royce Lewis might be a top 5 third baseman. I mean,
it's not crazy.
Him versus Manny Machado at 6, I think, is a really interesting conversation. If you could guarantee me Royce Lewis was going to be healthy, because I think he'd be better than Manny Machado the rest of the way.
All right, for more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Odyssey app, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5, and we will be back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.